Today's video, we're going to be checking out the new Playmates toys. This is Voltron 84. This is classic legendary Red Lion. Both the red line and green line will be a little bit smaller than the previously looked at blue and yellow. Let's take the tape measure. From the tail to the head, the red line is about 9 inches long, and height-wise, you're looking at only about 3.5 inches. Red line also gets a good fair share of different accessories. Let's bring them all in right now. Comes with a missile launcher, as with the other two lines looked at, also did that. And there's a little firing mechanism at the top here. Now looking at the blue line, going back to the blue line, I had said initially that the little launching mechanism was on the back. It turns out it's just on the side here. It's this little part here. So I just want to correct myself from a statement I made in my previous review of the blue line. Anyways, like with the other lines, you can attach these to any of the ports located on the front or back legs of the lines. Be careful, of course, when you're doing that, you don't ultimately hit the little trigger point here. And you can just attach that to the top here, just like so. By the way, also, you can take, and I mentioned this with the previous video too, you can take any one of the other lion's attachments, and without firing them off, you can also attach those to the lines as well. So you can mix and match them if you so wish. Although the coloring may vary. The blue on the top there may not jive so well with the red line. It also comes with a laser cannon, which again you can just attach to the front. Also included, he comes with a mouth blade, like a little jaw blade. I think it's actually called a jaw blade. Got some red and some yellow in there to match the colorings of the red line. It's kind of a little bit of a sturdier plastic, but it's got a little bit of softness to it. The blades, by the way, are not sharp. And you can attach that just the exact same way as what we did before. Open the mouth, which is on a spring. Yo! Open that up. And there's like a little slot just on the inside. And that fits just like that. With the red line, unlike the two previous lines, the line here seems to have a better grip, is able to close its mouth a little bit better around the weapon. Then, of course, the big one, which is about this size, it is actually a little bit bigger than the red line, you get yourself Voltron's blazing sword. A little also connector point right at the top there, which fits itself in the same area. Yes, it does. Right in there, and you can close it off. Obviously, it's way too big for poor little red line to be carrying around, but the means are there, so if you do want to have them displayed, it is a little on the ridiculous side, but you can do that. The blazing sword doesn't have a whole lot of coloring to it. In fact, it favors just more so just a gray plastic. It seems like it could be a little on the short side. I don't know, perhaps when we have it displayed with Voltron, it may change my opinion, but it does seem like it could be a tad on the short side, like it should have been just a little bit longer. Just thrilled that we are getting 84 Voltron toys. Just thrilled that these are hitting store shelves, which these are now in stores. I think they're in stores shelves right now. So let's go ahead and take the accessories off. Try not to fire the missile while we're at it. And also just some scale comparisons. As really, we've only looked at 3 so far. There is the red line. Here's the blue line that the first video that we looked at. Let's see, there's a considerable size difference between the two. It's been the case since the dawn of time as we've ever gotten Voltron toys. Obviously, the arm limbs are always smaller than the legs. But they scale well together. Accurate, I would say, to the cartoon. The red line to the blue line. And also for fun, we've already looked at this one as well. Here is the yellow line. I'm just going to move all the accessories out of the way. Okay, so we'll put those to the side. And let's have a look at the red lion. Now the red line and the green line favor the fact that they are also arm limbs. because of that, you've got some articulation that normally would not be present with the legs. You can also now hinge them right around. Now this will be obviously the elbow point for Voltron when you decide to put him together. Coloring on them as vibrant as ever. Yellow eyes there, and the white is a little on the rough side here. I don't know if something got scuffed on the front of it, but other than that, it looks pretty good. Like the silvering there. I kind of wish that the silver, all these hairs everywhere, I wish the silver actually had been the coloring also of the legs, because the silver looks so good, and then you get more to a matte gray for the rest of the legs here on the lion. There's the underside right there, and the connector point, which is a little more difficult to grab when you don't have the nails to do so. The connector point for Voltron's arm is right there. Let's see if I can actually grab the blazing sword. Not really how you should be. Oh, actually, you know what? There's that little, there we go. Pop that out. There's your little connector point that's going to attach to the torso area. Now, I haven't put Voltron together yet, obviously, because we haven't looked at all of the lions just yet. I feel as if the connector point is going to be working the exact same way as the Netflix Voltron connector points, because essentially these lions are not that much different from those other lions. If that be the case, I don't know if there's going to be a releasing mechanism when you attach the arms to the torso. I hope they've done something to change the fact that you don't have to be pulling the lion or jerking it to the side to detach it from its torso. Like if it had a release to it, I hope that be the case, but I haven't had a chance yet to put Voltron together yet. Okay, so let's look at its posability for the red lion. In this instance, the head does rotate all the way around. This is not something that you'd be able to do with the blue or the yellow lion, respectively. Luckily, you can do it with the red lion. Get some nice ratcheted sounds going there. The mouth does open and close. We can count that as posability. Legs move forward and back. Both legs. A hinge, a nice ratcheted joint right here where you've got that second hinge, and then you've got a lesser ratchet right down here. Some areas click a little bit easier than others. And that's basically how it works. You've got the rotation here, you've got the hinge back and forth for the arm, or what will be the arm. And for the tail doesn't fold up. Something else I do want to mention is, I think when I did the review of the blue and the yellow line, I mentioned that they had gone back to the original sense of bringing the tails in. And that not be the case, actually, because the tails fold in here on the red line and on the green line. It doesn't stay in place, though, so as you are moving Voltron's arms around, you may find that the red line, and I'm certain the green line will have this too, that the tails aren't going to stay in place all the time. A little bit of shake, and you'll have the tail back out again. To get this guy into arm, by the way, is super easy. It's not like, let's see if we can just fold this around here. It's not like the Netflix Voltron, which the Netflix Voltron, as good as it was a much more complex transformation. You had to take the torso open, you had to basically hinge it open, and then you had to fold the legs inward and kind of close everything. That's how these vary from the original with the Netflix Voltron. Here, you have a much simpler transformation, because really this is how it transformed in the show as well. Like the legs just kind of folded in, and then you had the head serving as the hands. From there, you've got the posability, of course, on the hinge on the elbow. And then we just bring this out. There we go. And then that would connect itself to the black line, thereby also giving you the arm of Voltron. As we get ourselves closer and closer to building the mighty Voltron, it dawned on me as we were having a look at the red line here, how much simpler the transformation from lion to arm was. Both the yellow line, both the green line, I should say, and the red line involved opening up the torso and kind of folding the arms into the cavity, giving a much more finished look. I much prefer myself the more vintage look, and I'm glad that they went the route of just folding the legs in. It kind of reminds me of the old vintage toys, as it really should be. It's not overly complex, but it still has today's articulation, which is something that the previous lines back in the 80s unfortunately did not have. Still digging the look of it, got lots of coloring. Red line in this case has a lot of extra accessories, none of which, other than just the mouth blade I've got here for final looks, really digging the looks of these lions. If you are wondering, by the way, these are currently in store, so if you are looking to find these for yourself and pick them up, you can probably find them at places like Toys R Us, Target, Walmart, anywhere that sells toys. You should be able to find the 84 Voltron. Big fans of these myself. Of course, 80s fans will love to pick these up, but I think a lot of kids will gravitate to these too as well. Something I really haven't mentioned yet is because the legs and limbs fold in the way that they do, it makes for a much more simpler transformation, and I think something that the kids will have an easier time building Voltron versus what was the case with the Netflix Voltron. Involved a lot more opening and folding in and stuff like that. So I think this is also a good suitable line for kids to get into the Voltron. It just so happens also that you're going to be watching and checking out the 84 Voltron rather than what we would have gotten before with the Netflix Voltron. That being said, 2 videos left to go. We got the green line and we've got the black line, and then after that we're going to put ourselves together Voltron. So I am still super thrilled, and hopefully you guys will be watching along the way. In order to watch along the way and in order to know when new videos are hitting this channel, make sure you hit that little subscribe button down below. We're going to have a look at the green line in the next video. Don't want to give away spoilers, but I'm sure anyone would probably know the next succession of videos that are going to be coming up in order. The next one is going to be the green line, then we're going to have a look at the black line, then we're going to put together Voltron in that order. As always, guys, thanks for watching as you always do. I'll see you next time.